Welcome back to another budget with me. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, today we will be budgeting my paycheck, which is scheduled to hit on March 31st, which is Monday. However, the bank that I use, they deposit my paycheck a few days early. So we'll be budgeting my paycheck today. As you can see by this ready to assign amount, I have $2,535.69 to budget. My paycheck is a little bit lower than this. I believe there may be some interest or some cash back in this, but good enough. So, if you haven't watched my channel, I am a mom of two in my 40s, and I'm just trying to do better about my finances. So, by nature, I am a spender, but YNAB has really helped me somewhat get my spending under control. If you look at this hobbies and this food and drink category for dining out, you may not know that, but here we are. All right, so first thing I want to do is look for anything in March that's underfunded because we only have a few days left in the month. Everything should be covered, but I want to make sure. So I'm going to click this underfunded filter up here. Looks like we're all good to go. And then another thing I want to highlight are the snooze categories. So any overspending that I've had this month, I've tried to cover it as it comes up. As you will see, some of these categories are snooze. So the medical category, I'm pretty sure I moved some funds from here. Yes, you can see I moved money to groceries from here. Also, Mother's Day, I moved $50 to the gifts account. I believe that went towards a gift that I got from my sister. And then also Christmas, I've moved money to different categories, as you can see in the activity. So if you click this little, looks kind of like a clock with an arrow around it, you can see all your money moves for the month. I've tried to handle things as they come up. I talked last time about my daughter going to a Sweet 16 party and having to cover that. Sorry about the alerts, guys. Let me silence my devices. I've tried to cover that spending as it comes up as best I could, which means these funds will probably have to be replenished in April. Since everything for this month looks to be covered, I also like to double check to see if anything's overfunded. We're going to move ahead to April and start assigning for next month. Even though my age of money is 31 days, I don't really consider myself a month ahead because I do a lot of spending on my credit cards. I'm not in credit card debt, but because those funds are sitting each month until the statement is due, it tends to inflate my age of money. And then my days of buffering is 54 days. I don't know how accurate that is, but we'll go with it. Okay, so to start, since this is the paycheck for the end of the month, I have a filter here for any bills that are due or anything that I want to pay first up on the last day of the month. So I'm going to fund about half of these and see how far we get. So fuel, we're only going to fund half of this. So I get paid twice a month on the 15th and the last day of the month. And so I only need half to last until the next pay period. I don't use a lot of fuel. I work from home. A lot of the gas that I use is for transporting kids and things of that nature. I'm going to put half in the dining out category because that money tends to go quick. $150 in the hobbies, and then $40 in the maintenance. And I used to have a category called de-stash sales for any of the items that I purchased previously for a hobby and then decided to resell on eBay and Mercari. But I've decided to get rid of that category and just roll everything up under hobbies. So like last month, it looks like I overspent on my hobbies by $223. But some of this money from Ready Assigned to Hobbies, some of this money is from me selling things online and then using the money as soon as I get it. Anyway, I'm also going to fund 2 weeks of groceries, half of household consumables. I'm not going to be picky about this. I'm just going to do $37, half for the kids category. And then stuff I forgot to budget. I mentioned last time, I always tend to use this category when I overspend in other categories or things come up. Like a few weeks ago, I went to the ATM and I wasn't aware. Not only did I get charged a $2 ATM fee for that particular ATM, then freaking Wells Fargo also charged me a $3 non-Wells Fargo ATM fee. So I paid $5 to get my own money. I put that in the stuff I forgot category. Our security and our internet is already funded. Car payment, I like to fund half of this. When I do the budgets with Means, I do them in Safari, but I decided I'd do it in Chrome this time so that I can use the YNAB Toolkit browser extension. It's this little icon here, because what that will do is let you fund half of a category. I mean, it just makes it so much more convenient, even though I went line by line for this first few categories, because I like to fund only half of my car payment each pay period so that I don't have too much money left for any given paycheck. This is our light bill, Hulu, New York Times, and YouTube TV are already funded. I'm gonna go back because I did see a YouTube TV transaction this morning. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it came out of March's and I didn't overspend for April. The Citibank credit card. I can remove this from this view because last month or last pay period, I paid off this credit card. So I'm actually going to go in here and edit this now to remove Citibank, and then Tithe. I am going to fund half for that as well. Now, the next thing I'm going to go to is this thank you next filter. This filter is basically a lot of savings accounts and anything that's not really a bill or groceries or fund money. A lot of these are annual subscriptions, sinking funds, extra places that I want to save money towards. And so we'll handle that before I handle this life stuff and the extra categories where I want to save extra for a car payment or car insurance, paying that 6 months at a time. I'm going to start with these subscriptions. So I'm going to cover Amazon Prime, which we just paid that in February, so this money is for next year's Amazon. Going to fund the HOA fee at $997 left. I'm going to go ahead and fund clothes and medical. And I'm skipping around because I don't know, these yellow bars are intimidating. I don't know if I have enough to cover them all. So there's some that I want to cover before others, and it's just personal preference. So like Christmas only needs $277, so I'm going to cover that. Mother's Day, I'm going to cover that $50 I took out last month. Gifts. So I increased this category just because I feel like I spent a lot last month on gifts, but it's because my daughter had a birthday party to go to. And then her best friend's birthday, I believe, is in May. And so I just want to make sure I have enough. And I believe when I looked at average assigned, an average spent is $87.42. And so I wanted to try to get closer to that. I also added Wish Farm items. The Nintendo Switch 2 should be hopefully on pre-order next week. So these don't have targets, but I had some extra money last month. And so I put it here. And then, of course, reimbursements. I'm not going to fund this. This is just for if anybody wants me to pay for something and sends me money to pay me back, or, you know, like work reimbursements and that kind of thing. So I think I'm done with the giving category. Tithes, we funded it for this pay period and we'll complete that next pay period. Household durables. So average spent is $22.01. So I'm going to put, actually I'm not even going to type it in here. I'm going to assign the average spent here. Family fun. I'm going to assign the average spent here. Extra car payment. I'm going to fully fund that. Oh, I don't have a target on this one for car insurance, so I'm going to wait on that. Job replacement. Home maintenance. Let's go to underfunded and see what we have left. These are the ones I fund half of. These are ones I fund half of. These are for next pay period. All of these. $290. Trying to do some quick math to see if I can cover all of any of these. I think this target needs to be adjusted. Verizon, I just paid Verizon 175.62, and I believe that it might be that amount going forward. So I need to update that target. Well, so I have things that I need to. How much are these? These things I need to fund next pay period. That's $2,110, and my check is normally $2,500. So I could cover all of these next pay period, which I think I'm going to do because knowing that the Nintendo Switch 2 is about to come out, and right now I don't the price hasn't been announced, so I don't know how much it's going to be. So I'm just going to park all that money right here, and that will take care of that. I'm going to double check to make sure I haven't overfunded anything. No. Okay. And so I'll just put the money to the Nintendo Switch 2 because that's, more important than bills and everything else, right? You got to have a little fun in life. That is everything. I reconciled my accounts this morning just to make sure that everything, as far as my ready to assign amount and what was available for me to assign in the budget, was in order and accurate. So I think I'm good. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and let me know what's in your wish farm. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.